Jamel Herring took on Carl the Jackal Frampton.
Yeah, he did.
For the junior lightweight title, WBO Junior lightweight title. Frampton aiming to become a 3-weight world champion.
What an achievement that would be.
And a very exciting and good fight. Great fight. Herring probably in his toughest test to date against arguably a future Hall of Famer with the credentials that Frampton has. And the fight, I think we did a poll on our Instagram page, and the majority of the people had Frampton winning. And the fight didn't go, I mean, the most polls I saw online had Frampton winning. Frampton was the favourite going into the fight. Obviously, I think it's because Herring is slightly less known.
Yes.
Frampton's the more heralded fighter. You know, he's accomplished a lot more, and he's been in there with the bigger names and bigger fighters. So, but Herring went in there and got the job done. Defeated Carl Frampton via 6th round TKO. KO. Towel came in. It was just a very good, solid performance.
That knockdown before the end of the fight, stoppage. Did you see it?
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was it.
It probably could have been because he was out of it.
Yeah.
He was out of it. But Frampton's a warrior. Yeah, the uppercut. Yeah,
was crazy.
Frampton got knocked down twice in the fight. Mouse is referring to the one just before it got ended in the 6th. But even in the 5th round when he got knocked down as well, he just didn't really recover from that, I think.
At
again,
5'5", sorry to cut you off, but at
tiny
5'5"
compared to 5'10".
What are you expecting?
I don't know how Herring makes that weight, bro.
I don't know how Herring makes that weight, but I don't know how Frampton expected to land. Do you get me?
Obviously,
like it's
he said it himself, though. He said it himself afterwards. He said that it was I couldn't find my range.
Yeah,
and he was like, the jabs weren't even that quick from Herring. He was like, they weren't even that
just
fast.
coming from far.
He was like, no, but the problem is, he's saying, I don't have it in me anymore.
No way.
Like, I'm not the same fighter. You know, he's not that old. He's 34 years old, and Herring's only 35, turning 36. But you know, he's been in wars. He's been in there, the biggest names. And he's saying that I just couldn't get out of the way of the jab. And Herring used his length, his size, his reach, everything to his advantage. And I was expecting Frampton to come in as the smaller fighter does and try and fight on the inside, rip away to the body, but it just wasn't going for him. He just couldn't find his range, couldn't get going. You know, someone rhythm. Perfect word. And eventually, obviously, the stoppage came. Jamie Moore threw in the towel, rightly so. Good decision because he would have been stopped either way. He wasn't going to recover, even though he's a warrior and he likes to fight.
He was going to go out
on his back. There's no point. He saved him, and. Yeah, man, good fight. Herring is a very, very good guy, man. Very nice guy. Former Marine, former Olympian. He's done a lot already in his life. Yeah, he's achieved
a lot, for real.
So people always said, like, you know, he was obviously highly doubted beforehand going into the fight. And, you know, even after his last fight with Oquendo, he ended in a weird, I think it was a DQ in the 8th round. Very strange. So he had a point to prove, you know. But, you know, if you look at Herring's past and his credentials, he shouldn't really be a huge underdog the way he was.
Yeah, no, he shouldn't have been. But again, this is just how I never did get these bookies odds. You know that. I know it was not just that. It was, you can't base it on the people's opinions, but it's like the bookies odds have always been a bit hard to understand.
Odds are always just it's just who's the bigger name. Really,
that's weird,
really. Man. If you think about it, if you take away your heart and you rely on your head only, you focus on the actual fight. If you look at it, like Herring, former Olympian. I know he didn't win anything, but he was captain of the 2012 team.
Exactly, that's enough of a
2012 US team.
Man.
You know, that had a good team with him. Errol Spence Jr., Clarissa Shields, Brazil. Dominic Brazil. Who else?
Michael Hunter. Bounty
Hunter. Yeah. Good team, solid team. But in the fight, one thing I noticed and I realized is when he got the cut on his eye in the 4th round.
Oh yes, he was cut, by the way.
He was cut in the 4th round, and that gave Frampton obviously confidence to come in and try and work his magic and see what he can do from there. I was thinking to myself, they kept saying, is he going to panic because of the blood and whatnot? I know it was quite a bad cut and it was seeping into his eye. But I was like, he's a former Marine.
Lad,
Does that kind of stuff scare him, or
it's not about scare him
or make him panic? He'd
nah,
probably
man.
deal with that
Thrives
pressure
with these things.
easily.
He probably needed that. You get me?
Mm.
Sometimes these people, it's true, man. You're used
Cool,
to
calm, collected under that pressure, and did what he had to do. Again, solid performance.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately, unfortunately for the fans, because he's given us great fights, but
fortunately for him in the sense that he knows his time. He knows his time. Obviously, Carl Frampton, once again, I'm cutting you off.
No, you're not.
Carl Frampton, he did say, if I lose this fight, I'm going to retire. Pretty much seemed like it was win, lose or draw. He was going to do the same thing anyway.
Yeah.
And it was confirmed in him, what you just said, him saying that he just didn't have it in him anymore. So Carl Frampton hung up the gloves for good. Like you said, trying to become three division world champion. Almost got there. Close, no cigar. But that does not take away from the career that he's had, the illustrious career he's had.
Amazing. He's done so much.
Yeah.
So much. And it's sad, isn't it? Because he's been in some great fights. Those wars with Leo Santa Cruz, in 2016 when he moved up in weight to fight Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz was undefeated. Santa Cruz was, that superstar that they were trying to build over there. Yeah. And in his own right, he still is a star. Leo Santa Cruz is a very, very good fighter. But the Jackal went in there and put on a war. They went back and forth through so many shots. And he won the majority decision there. And then obviously they fought again and Santa Cruz won that. But, he's been in the likes. He's beaten the likes of Kiko Martinez, Scott Quigg, Santa Cruz, Nonito Donaire. We're talking about some of the elite, some of the best of the best. Some of the best around. No one's ever gonna stop me now. And, it's, he's done it. He's done enough. Unified world champion, former unified champion, former 2-weight world champion. So congratulations on a great, great career, 100%. Carl Frampton. And good luck. He just wants to spend time with the family. And he said it. I've been away through, birthdays and celebrations and just, sicknesses and whatever. He's out, my wife's been dealing with it all by herself. I've been away for a long time, so it's now time for me to sort of go back and... Again,
it's like the kind of dedication that I mentioned last week with Dylan White. He missed Christmas. He missed the birth of his his child. Do you know what I mean? All of this stuff here, it's like...
Huge.
Yeah, how long can you do that for?
Yeah.
How many years are you
Us as fans don't realise it. Because
there's a lot involved.
It's crazy,
Tune in on the day to watch him get beaten.
It's not only the 6 weeks or 12 weeks, 8 weeks of a camp or training. If you're taking it serious and you're away nearly all for most of the year, for three quarters of the year, you're gone. Yeah. And you're away from the family, and some people take it differently. But solid performance from Herring. And good luck to Carl Frampton with whatever he chooses to do next.